Who do you think will win Cable versus Cyborg? The confrontation between technology and the future. Cable, real name Nathan Summers, is the son of Cyclops and Madelyne Pryor, carrying the blood of the X-Men and the latent power of telepathy and telekinesis. However, due to being infected with a techno-organic virus since childhood, his body became a combination of flesh and bone and alien technology metal. In return, this helps Cable possess superhuman strength, superior reflexes, extraordinary endurance, and the ability to manipulate modern technological weapons. His special feature is his powerful psychic ability, enough to read minds, control opponents, and even teleport through space. Cyborg, or Victor Stone, is a DC superhero who was saved by Mother Box technology after a tragic accident. His body was almost completely recreated by machines, giving him enormous mechanical strength, the ability to adapt and upgrade continuously. Cyborg has an arsenal of energy weapons, plasma guns, advanced defense systems, and the ability to connect directly to all types of digital networks. In addition, he also has the power of computer intelligence, which helps him process information and calculate strategies quickly in battle. Before we dive into the analysis, please click the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Cable is a mutant with extraordinary telepathic abilities and the ability to control matter with his mind. His life is tied to war, where he is not only a soldier but also a beacon of hope against the darkness spreading throughout the universe. The son of Scott Summers, leader of the X-Men, and Madelyne Pryor, a mother with latent powers, Nathan soon revealed unusual abilities from childhood. However, his birth was not natural, but the product of a plot calculated by Mr. Sinister to create the ultimate weapon to confront Apocalypse. It was that cruel truth that drove his mother into madness and eventually led to a tragic tragedy when she realized that she was just a distorted copy of Jean Grey. Ever since he was a child, Nathan had to face a cruel fate. The organic technovirus disease invaded his young body, threatening every moment of his life. To save his life, he was brought to a harsh, post-apocalyptic future, where the Ascani clan raised him as Nathan Dayspring, a child destined to be called Ascani-san. In the religion of the Ascani clan, he is the savior, a warrior with the mission to defeat Apocalypse, the dictator who has spread suffering for millennia. Through the long years of bloody battlefields, Nathan trained himself to become a resilient warrior, a talented strategist, always carrying the burden of an entire future on his shoulders. After decades of wandering in fierce wars, Nathan Summers finally chose to go back in time, returning to the period near his departure point. Here, he founded the Six Pack, an elite army to continue the uncompromising resistance against the threats lurking in humanity and mutants. Nathan also joined the ranks of the New Mutants, taking on the role of leader, leading them through countless challenges. His determination and strategic vision transformed the group into X-Force, a militaristic force that acted with unprecedented force and determination. Cable knew better than anyone what the future would hold if the wrong path continued, having witnessed the destruction firsthand. So he volunteered to shoulder the hope of an entire generation. As the mutant world entered the post-day era, he found the first child who bore the mark of a savior. It was Hope Summers, whom he not only raised as his own, but also trained to become a guiding light for the future, where he was reunited with his loved ones on Krakoa. On the island of mutants, surrounded by family and teammates, Nathan found a rare measure of peace after years of war. Nathan met Strife during a raid by the clan rebellion on Apocalypse's stronghold on Crest Coast. Strife was defeated by Nathan, who was struck by his sister Rachel, who telepathically communicated with Nathan from his coma and helped him destroy a virus created by Apocalypse. After years of remission, Nathan's techno-organic virus suddenly erupted and he fell into a coma as his condition was considered terminal. Slim watched over Nathan day and night. Mother Ascani, appearing as a young Rachel Summers, formally introduced herself to Nathan telepathically. Rachel explained to him that he was potentially the most powerful mutant ever, and that if he sacrificed his ability to move objects with his mind every day, he could control the virus, The day came when Apocalypse was ready to turn Strife into his new host, and Red, Slim, and Nathan were there to stop him. Apocalypse saw through their physical bodies and recognized them as his sworn enemies Cable, Jean Grey, and Cyclops. After Nathan, Red, and Slim attacked Apocalypse, a disillusioned Chevere betrayed his master, distracting him, and Slim ordered Nathan to break the telepathic link between Apocalypse and Strife, seemingly killing Apocalypse. Years passed, and the dark underbelly of power rose again as the new Canaanites replaced Apocalypse to establish a new dictatorship. In the process, Madame Sanctity seized upon the remnants of the Ascani legacy, transforming them into the Ascani Sisterhood, an organization that was both religious and political. Nathan, accustomed to war, was forced to get involved. He reluctantly attended the secret resurrection ceremonies of Ascani. It was there that he met Tetherblood, who would become his close friend, sharing both the challenging years and the fragile hopes. That friendship was a rare spiritual support for Nathan, but fate did not allow him to rest easy. During an important meeting, when he spoke out, Strader Umbridge ordered his arrest. The disease caused by the organic technovirus gradually eroded his body, making each step a burden of iron and steel dragging on his shoulders. It was in that moment of near despair that Blakesmith, a devoted member of the Ascani family, secretly broke into the cell, pulling out a glowing orb from the metal skin on Nathan's chest. That orb was not only technology, but also the living memory of Ship, who had now forgotten the past and called himself Professor. With an artificial intelligence capable of manipulating electronic devices, the Professor becomes Nathan's loyal ally, making up for the losses that gnaw at his body and soul. When Strader Umbridge realizes that the captive is the warrior who defeated Apocalypse, she immediately sends soldiers to surround him. Nathan fights Dagon and is saved from death by Aaliyah, with whom he immediately falls in love. After fighting Insectoid Loci, Aaliyah brings Nathan back to Madame Sanctity, and he asks to learn the ways of the Ascani. Despite Nathan being male, Sanctity orders Aaliyah to instruct him as he is the son of the Ascani. After the new Canaanites attack, Nathan rescues Aaliyah, and he begins to lose control of his techno-organics before her. During the battle, Madame Sanctity is seemingly killed, but has actually joined forces with Strife. Nathan, Aaliyah, and Tetherblood promise to build a rebellion against the tyranny of the new Canaanites. The flames of conflict flare up once again, dragging Nathan back into the never-ending cycle of war. I really hope you subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot, and you are the best. Thank you very much. Cyborg, as his name suggests, is a half-human, half-robot being that allows him to perform many impressive feats of technology. His cybernetic enhancements allow him to possess superhuman strength, endurance, stamina, and agility. He can lift up to 5 tons under optimal conditions, sometimes even more, depending on the storyline. He can also dodge attacks, run faster, react quicker, and fight longer. His electronic eyes also allow him to observe things on a much deeper level and analyze data in greater detail. One of his greatest advantages is that he is constantly adapting and updating his systems, allowing him to keep up with stronger enemies, understand them better, and devise strategic plans to defeat them. His advanced neural enhancements allow him to operate at a higher level of intelligence than a normal human. His storyline in The New Gods also gives him a number of additional abilities, such as adapting to underwater, creating portals, blasting EMPs, and absorbing technology. His body is reinforced with durable metal armor, allowing him to lift enormous weights and withstand attacks that normal humans cannot withstand. His mechanical arms are a support tool and can flexibly transform into a variety of heavy weapons such as energy cannons, ray guns, and even plasma cutters. With that mobile arsenal, Cyborg always has the advantage in fierce battles. With just a thought, Cyborg can infiltrate security systems, control machines, or connect to giant computer networks, making him not only a physically strong warrior, but also a strategist on the digital battlefield.
The jet propulsion system integrated into his legs allows him to fly, move quickly through the air, overcome large distances, and easily gain a tactical advantage. Advanced sensors allow him to see in the dark, detect heat signatures, and hear the subtlest sound. Cyborg is often seen as one of the least visible members of the Justice League, but that is not a true reflection of his true power. The power he displays is no less than that of icons like Superman. With his superior technological capabilities, Cyborg can take control of every computer system on Earth in the blink of an eye. He can easily open a series of boom tube portals to any location, turning himself into a strategic teleportation center for the entire team. By absorbing and assimilating new technologies, his body is constantly being upgraded. Cyborg once disabled Superman with a white noise cannon, a weapon that can shake the nerves of even the most invincible warriors. He also defeated Mammoth with a concentrated energy blast, and even defeated Dr. Polaris, who had previously defeated the entire Justice League. Even more impressive was Vic's feat of defeating Ultraviolet John Stewart, a version that far surpassed the traditional Green Lantern in strength and brutality. As a technophobe, he can manipulate technology as if he were a reality bender. Bend it to his will. He was created from a mother box, something so technologically advanced it almost seems magical. He can shut down the world if he wants, or, as we've seen, hack into weapons like nuclear weapons with a thought. Cyborg proves his power when he blocks a devastating attack, a force that cuts through Steppenwolf's body like a knife through melted butter. But Cyborg isn't just facing alien enemies, he's also facing a name from his past. Ron Evers. The two were childhood friends, sharing dreams and hopes, but everything fell apart when Ron transformed and became a mechanical menace. That betrayal left a mental wound that was difficult to heal, making each confrontation like a battle with his own childhood memories. Ron Evers later led a dark group called the Cyborg Avengers, with many dangerous enemies, each with a terrifying mark. Gizmo is a technological genius with the ruthlessness of his deadly machines. Girder possesses a solid steel body. Each impact is like a sledgehammer, leaving devastating cracks on the battlefield. Magenta controls magnetic fields, can pull down giant buildings with just a wave of her hand. Shrapnel turns her entire body into a shower of sharp debris, spreading death in an instant. Thinker, with his superior mind, does not need physical strength to make Cyborg suffer with his sophisticated plan. Cybergirl carries within her a distorted image of himself, like a mirror reflecting a dark version, ready to crush anyone's beliefs. Yet, above all these enemies, his eyes repeatedly reflected the cold gleam of metal, as if his mind was about to sink into darkness. Cyborg has proven himself to be an indirect and direct threat to the planet, and potentially a threat to the entire universe. Make no mistake, he is a hero and never a villain, but because of his internal struggle between man and machine, he has lost his way. His ability to assimilate technology is one of his most formidable abilities. In Technis Imperative, he assimilated Siberian and Technis technology. He also assimilated other technologies while traveling in space. When he returned to Earth, he was the size of the moon and threatened all life on Earth. It took the help of the JLA, Titans, Teen Titans, Young Justice, and the JLA Reserve to stop and save him. In Deceased, Darkseid accidentally used Cyborg to unleash a pseudo-zombie virus that nearly ended all life on Earth. And even with a cure, thanks to Cyborg and the new Justice League, it still poses a potential threat across the universe. In addition to raising Cyborg's threat level, both events reveal that Cyborg is essentially immortal. The city sky was lit up by streaks of energy bullets tearing through the air. Cyborg stood in the center, his metal body glowing red, his eyes flashing with electric sparks. He scanned the sensor system, tracking Cable's every move. The man from the future did not stand still. He kept teleporting short distances, like a ghost disappearing and reappearing in unexpected locations. The atmosphere was so tense that it seemed like all the sounds in the city were swallowed up, leaving only the roar of the plasma engine and the ear-piercing screech of metal colliding. Cyborg raised his right arm. The integrated cannon charged to the limit and released a beam of white light. The building behind Cable exploded, glass fragments flying through the air like a meteor shower. Cable was not pushed, he had teleported before the beam of light reached him. Appearing behind Cyborg, he fired a series of bullets from his futuristic energy gun, each bullet swirling through the air, creating a burning circle around the target. Cyborg activated his electromagnetic shield, a wall of light surrounding his body. Cable's bullets hit, exploding into a series of flashes, but failed to penetrate the defense. Cyborg spun around, slamming his metal arm into the pavement. The ground shattered, cracks spreading across the square, the shockwave sending Cable flying. He rolled a few times, but quickly got up, his eyes shining with the determination of a warrior who had experienced hundreds of battles in the fierce future. The two charged at each other. Cyborg released an energy cable that wrapped tightly around Cable's arm, intending to pin him to the ground. But Cable activated his teleportation system. His body disintegrated in a flash of light and appeared behind Cyborg, pulling out an energy knife and stabbing it straight into the joint on his opponent's back. Sparks flew. Cyborg roared loudly, but quickly turned around to counterattack, sweeping his arm and slamming Cable into the steel wall. The sound echoed. Dust filled the air. Cable seemed to be cornered, but he stood up again, blood dripping from the corner of his mouth, his eyes not afraid. He raised the gun, but this time he did not shoot straight. The strategic mind of a future general operated. He swept the gun in an arc. Each energy bullet was programmed to detonate after touching the surface of the environment. The continuous explosions formed a maze of light. Forcing Cyborg to maneuver in a narrow space, the shield was pushed to the limit. Cyborg roared, releasing all the energy in the reactor core. The red light enveloped his body so strong that it turned him into a giant torch. From his hands, heavy firepower like a storm poured down on Cable, crushing the ground under his feet. The city shook, tall buildings cracked, and a series of debris fell like a waterfall. Cable continued to move, but he knew that he could not just dodge forever. Cyborg's overwhelming power was exceeding his normal resistance. For a brief moment, Cable closed his eyes and focused his will. Inside his brain, his psychic powers exploded. Invisible waves of energy spread, seeping into Cyborg's electronic system. Instantly, the signals in his brain were disrupted. Cyborg jerked his head, feeling like hundreds of voices were echoing in his mind. The AI system tried to automatically correct itself, but Cable's intervention was too subtle. Taking the opportunity, Cable rushed forward, closing in close range. He launched a series of attacks, each punch hitting the weak points he had analyzed in advance. Each punch was like thunder exploding in the heart of the city. Cyborg struggled to defend, but the disorder in his nervous system slowed his reaction. His crimson eyes gradually dimmed, the light in the reactor dimmed. With a decisive blow, Cable pulled out his energy sword and stabbed deep into the energy core on Cyborg's chest. Sparks flew violently, the sound of metal shattering echoed throughout the space. Cyborg kneels down, hands on the ground, the whole system shuts down. He is not completely destroyed, but he is disabled.
I hope you enjoy this fight. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That's it for today's video. Thanks a lot.